A fellow comes to the people of Yavesh Gilad with a proposition from Amon, and his name is Nachash. With a name like that, you know he's got to be a nice guy. He comes with a pretty reasonable request. If each member of the town will simply poke out his right eye, then they can become subservient to Amon. Doesn't say what the other option is, but I imagine it was even less appealing than this one. And it goes on to say that this will be an embarrassment for all of Israel. Why should it be an embarrassment for all of Israel? Just for the people of that town. The people of Yavesh Gilad request a week to find help. Otherwise, they'll do what he says. Which raises another question. Why should he give them a chance to get help? But he does. And they send messages all over, and no one steps up. Perhaps he let them seek help because he knew no one would save them. That's the great embarrassment. Because in the days of the Shoftim, no one helped another shave it if it didn't directly affect them. But apparently Nachash hadn't received the message. In these days, there was a king in Israel. That's not a quote from a pasuk, but it means that apparently he missed the message that it's not the Shoftim period anymore, because now there's a king in town, and this is Sha'ul's first chance to start fulfilling his destiny. But first, we have to wait for the king to come back from tending to the cows. Sha'ul returns and sees the people of his town crying. Was the whole nation crying, or specifically the members of his town? When he hears what Nachash said, he unites the nation and goes and saves the day. Amazing. It's like the spell of Sefer Shoftim is broken. It worked. The king united the nation as one to save a distant town. Not because they themselves were threatened, but because that's what all of Am Yisrael is meant to do if any of its members is in danger. We all get up and take action. But there's something strange in the pasuk. If he was already anointed king, why is he still tending to the cows? Apparently, people weren't impressed. Yes, they'd asked for a king, but him? From Binyamin? From Givah? It would seem that this may be why he hadn't really fully taken up his role yet. That's why at the end of the parak, those who backed him said they wanted to kill all of those who had said Sha'ul will be king over us, meaning there were those who questioned it. And perhaps that's why after that he's re-anointed in Gilgal. But if Shaul had been so rejected that he'd gone back to caring for the cows, how did he manage to unite everyone? This is a glimpse, perhaps, into why specifically Sha'ul of Givah from Binyamin was chosen. The people being threatened aren't just any people. As students of the Torah of the land, place names, of course, begins to raise our antennas, and we start deciphering the code by asking ourselves, where have I heard of Yavesh Gilad before? It was, of course, at the end of the story of Pilegesh Begivah and Shoftim. No one would give the small remnant of men of Binyamin their daughters, and so the Shevet was almost entirely wiped out. What came to the rescue? That the people of Yavesh Gilad had not joined this cherem. As such, their daughters were able to marry the people of Binyamin. This saved Binyamin, and maybe saved the people of Yavesh Gilad as well. Now, when the word arrives that they're in danger, their family in Givah breaks down crying. Sha'ul, a king without a kingdom, sees his family broken over a situation that he was chosen to change. No more hiding by the Kalim. No more pretending Shmuel must have been mistaken. Time for action. But how can he galvanize the nation to join him? He can't just send out a letter, "Hi, please come help me. It would be much appreciated." He sends everyone a reminder of what happens when you don't protect your brothers, when you only band together to fight each other. The last time these leaders and governors around the land received a parcel in the mail with a bloody chunk of body part inside was by Pilegesh Begibah. Shaul was a bit more politically correct, and at least sent bloody pieces of cow parts, but the message was heard loud and clear. Remember Pilegesh Begivah? Remember how we all finally united against an enemy, but how that enemy was us, your own brothers, and you almost wiped out an entire Shevet of Am Yisrael? Remember how what led to this was not uniting to protect each other? This is our chance to correct it. Everyone showed up. It worked. And it was clear to everyone that, in fact, this descendant of Binyamin really is the one that's needed to begin to unite the nation. The Melucha will end up being in Yehuda, but the first stage of uniting everyone, bridging the long-standing gashes in our unity, that's a job for Binyamin. We'll see that Binyamin will often be the fragile and sometimes broken link between Yehuda and Bnei Yosef as we continue through our journey. One more stop along the way for now. Why Gilgal? Why not bring everyone back to Mitzpah like the last time? Why not Shiloh where the Mishkan stood? Beit El was an important place. Grizim and Eval? I don't know for sure, but an idea came up as I was contemplating it. Coming into the land with Yoshua, we were camped for 7 years by Gilgal as we went back and forth conquering the land. This was our first camp as we entered the land and our meeting point and main base under the leadership of Yoshua. After that, each goes off on their own to try to settle their own nachala. Meaning, this is in a sense the last place where we really all united as a nation under one leader. Other than a couple of unique situations, such as the last battle that we read about. For the most part, this is the first time we're back again, fighting side by side like we used to, united in holding our borders, protecting our land and our people. In a sense, going back to Gilgal for this historic moment is in a way erasing that wrong that we let happen, that we let ourselves become so divided, so callous to each other's pain and problems, so selfish. Gilgal also symbolizes a reunification between east and west of the Jordan, which was perhaps one of the connections most damaged during this period. It took a replay in our minds of our darkest moments to wake us back up. But now, with Amon out of the way and the nation united again, the mantle is really ready to be handed off, and our next stage as a nation, independence from the Plishtim, is just around the corner.